everyone, my name is Freya and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about cottagecore, which is something I find really nice. It's a really nice internet aesthetic, and today I want to talk about how you can take this aesthetic and drag it through your life and make it a part of your lifestyle rather than just a visual internet aesthetic. Now, if you've never heard of cottagecore, I'll insert a few pictures so that you kind of know what it's about. It's an internet aesthetic, so it's mainly focused around nature and useful pastimes and a lot of flowers. I watched the video Why is Cottagecore So Gay by Rowan Ellis, and I'll link it down below. And I felt incredibly inspired. Like Rowan says in her video, she says that the cottagecore experience is really not that accessible. You can't all live in a cottage in the woods and bake bread all day. That's not really something that's accessible to everyone, but this aesthetic is. By just reposting things, you can already engage with this content, and so you are already part of the cottagecore community, and that's what makes it so nice and what's making it so pleasant. The actual lifestyle this thing is based around isn't really that accessible. There are still a lot of elements you can take into your lifestyle and make it part of your lifestyle so that you actually kind of live a cottagecore lifestyle even though you may live in an apartment in the city. I think the appeal of cottagecore is mainly because it's a form of escapism, which Rowan says in her video, and it's really a gentle form of escapism because it's formed on the internet. The medium is pictures and quotes on sites like Tumblr, Instagram and TikTok. The medium is very visual, and so it's not really something you can really experience. It's mostly visual. Most of the people contributing to this aesthetic are younger people, Gen Z and young millennials. Obviously, I'm not saying that you have to be young to be able to contribute to this, but since it's on the internet and I'm just assuming that most of the creators, the content creators and the reposters and just the people who contribute to this aesthetic are younger people. And so people who didn't build the society we live in today, people who can't vote, and people who just didn't build this society, and that's why it's so booming right now. That's why it's just gaining so much attention, because it's escaping the society we never built. It's a longing for something we may have never experienced. I have never lived in a cottage, and yet I always wanted to. Not because I wanted to be alone or lone. Yes, because I wanted to be alone, but I didn't want to be lonely. I wanted to escape from this society which is focused around so much things I never wanted. That's the appeal of it. That's the real appeal of cottagecore. Everybody knows it's really escaping something you didn't want in the first place. It's kind of a wish of a normative society where this would be sexist, racist, all these horrible things, and live in a cottage society where to rely on others. A society where these things are the standard, and that's not something we asked for, and that's why cottagecore is. That's the appeal of it. You know, it's escapism, and everybody knows that. And that's what that's what kind of a wish really makes a society where this would be so true, appealing, and why so many people and live in a cottage where you don't have to rely on others. It's just very aesthetically pleasing and so yeah. But now I just talked a lot about the appeal and why it's so big right now, and so now I'm going to talk about how you can make it into an actual lifestyle and drag it through more than. And that's what make it a lifestyle really instead of just an aesthetic. It's so appealing and why so many people like it. So in order to do that, you need to pleasing and the aesthetic down. But now I just talked a lot about the appeal and why it's so big right now, and so now I'm going to talk about how you can make it into an actual lifestyle. So what does it mean? What does it mean? And
general.
Make it a
What does
lifestyle
mean
instead of
to you,
just
and
an
why do
aesthetic
you
you
like
like.
it?
So in order to do
the
that,
essentials
you
are
need to
basically
it's very nature
the
focused
aesthetic
down
it's
to
very
its fundamentals.
a lack of digital.
So what does it mean? What does it
appliances,
mean?
anything in general, and what does it mean?
It focuses
to you,
around
and why
useful
do
arts and
you
crafts
like
such
it?
as baking,
So
sewing, making
the essentials
clothes.
are basically
It's very nature focused. It's very
a lack of digital appliances,
and
anything.
it's also very focused around
it
focuses around useful arts and crafts such as baking,
and
sewing, making
peacefulness.
clothes, and it's also very
Not
focused around a
necessarily
sort of
and
peacefulness, some time alone, not necessarily lonely, but alone, so you can center yourself and be alone for a second. So those are the kind of things cottagecore is focused around. Well, obviously also roses, flowers, and Animal Crossing. No, but seriously, these kind of things are the general fundamentals on which cottagecore is based around. It's very nature based. If you look up cottagecore, you will see English thatched roofs and a lot of roses and beautiful gardens and herb gardens and vegetable gardens and baking bread and stuff like this. It's romanticized. It's very romanticized. Everybody knows that. Now I'm going to list some things that I will be implementing into my lifestyle. I mean, mostly it will be implemented later on when I go to school again because now I'm on vacation. But things that I like. So this is my personal list of things that could be cottagecore and that I could implement into my life more. Houseplants, listening to lo-fi or Zelda music on the bus or while I'm studying, bringing tea to school, reading more fantasy and poetry, using my lavender deodorant. It's so good. It's so good. I got it here. It's so good. It's so good. Decorate my space with dried flowers. Thrift clothes. Protect nature in any way you can, focusing around sustainability. Indulging in useful crafts, art and crafts, baking, making clothes, gardening, writing love letters to show your support to your friends and loved ones, and taking time to appreciate the small beautiful things in life and the small beautiful things I see every day, and incorporating more creative things in my school notes so that I can make them more aesthetically pleasing. Mainly doodling flowers and stuff. Now that I'm thinking about it, maybe I want to change my style, my fashion style a bit to it, but I don't know. I'm really minimalistic with my wardrobe, so I don't know about that, but that's my list of things that I could do to incorporate cottagecore into my lifestyle, and these are all things that are very peaceful and very small things, but that it's those small things that can really help you. The reason why I wanted to make this video is because I really love the cottagecore aesthetic, because it gives really a kind of vibe of peacefulness and quietness, and I really love that. And there are so many people engaging with this content, and it's really gaining a lot of attention right now, and I think it definitely has a lot more potential than to just be an internet aesthetic. I think decorating your room cute is obviously very nice, and you can do it by the cottagecore aesthetic, but bringing it further into your life can really be beneficial. I think for a lot of people, to bring their connection to nature again, to protect nature and the things they can, but because that's a thing I'm really missing in the cottagecore aesthetic. I mean, it's obviously not very aesthetic to see really sustainable things like green electricity, solar panels. It's not that aesthetic, and so it's not really part of the aesthetic, but I would love to see more sustainable creators making cottagecore content to appeal the cottagecore people who engage with that content, because I really think that a lot of the cottagecore creators and content creators, they really like nature, obviously, because otherwise they wouldn't even like cottagecore. And so I would love to see more sustainable content within cottagecore. I really would love to see that, and that's why I put protect nature in there, because nature is very precious, and there's like a really collective anxiety about climate change, and I think cottagecore could be something that brings alternatives to younger people who may feel stuck. Just like I see cottagecore as something that is allowing people to escape from their society that they never wanted, and also the young people who were born into this climate crisis that never wanted this. And so I think it would be very beneficial for the cottagecore community to implement more sustainable ideas into their aesthetics, so that it could show all those younger people like, you can make a difference, and here is how. You obviously can't, maybe you don't drive a car yet, maybe you can choose to not drive a car, maybe you can choose to have some houseplants to filter your own air, or maybe you can choose to have a vegetable garden or a herb garden. And those are really all those tiny things that can make a difference because they're normalized, you know. If the younger generation, mainly Gen Z, because the ones after that, they're 10 years old, but those younger people, I think they can really, they're our future, and I think it's really important that they know they can make a difference, even though they can't really make any fundamental differences, like in choosing that you have solar panels on your thing, or choosing to have what's it called? I don't even, oh my god. To like make your house warmth proof? Isolating? No, that's isolatie. What? The thing you put in your roof to make sure that it keeps the warmth inside, or the cold inside and the warmth outside. I know the word in Dutch, but I don't remember it in English. This younger generation isn't building houses. It can't build houses, it can't drive, or maybe a few can. But yeah, I mean, what I'm trying to say is that I think we could pull this internet aesthetic, cottagecore, from escapism to more reality. I think it definitely has that potential. It could be a way to educate people on how to be more sustainable, how to thrift good. I don't know if you're getting what I'm saying, but I think I just think cottagecore has so much more potential to grow into something that could be more than just escapism, and it could be something that genuinely changes people's lives and people's perspectives on a number of things. Cottagecore creators could be also creating sustainable content so that younger people could understand about what things are going on. And I would also love to see more inclusivity into cottagecore content, more body positivity, more sustainable content, more, I mean, the queer content is quite alright, but yeah, I would love to see more people of color, because it mainly is focused around white people and English things, but cottagecore, I mean, when you strip it down to the fundamentals, it really isn't just about English countryside life. So I guess what I'm basically trying to say with this video is that I think the cottagecore aesthetic, which is now just a visual internet aesthetic, could be so much more and has so much more potential to be an actual thing that changes people's lives and people's perspectives on important matters. It could be so much more than it is right now, and I think that if people start to implement things into the aesthetic, that people could educate others, and I would just love to see that happening. So I guess that's why I'm making this video. Cottagecore is really focused around nature and finding your connection back to nature, and obviously cottagecore isn't new in that. Ever since humanity started industrializing so many things, there has always been this pull back to nature, to strip it back to nature, and that's always been the case. Ever since there was a lack of nature, people have been trying to get back to nature. It's just a normal thing to happen, and I think that cottagecore really has that power to be able to do that. I see so much potential in this, also because Gen Z is so powerful, and they can do so many things. I think cottagecore is something that can also be used for good and used to be an educating force and just something good, you know? I think it can become a new movement, and I think that's very important. How can you now implement cottagecore into your life and not just taking it further than being an aesthetic? Well, look at the pieces you love most and what's drawing you to this aesthetic. Obviously, if you don't like the aesthetic, this video wasn't for you, but if you like the aesthetic and it makes you feel calm and peaceful, think about what those things are. Is it the frogs? Is it the cute roses? Is it the Animal Crossing? Is it the just sense of peacefulness and slow flow? Is it the nature? What is it? The arts and crafts that draws you to it? What is it that really appeals to you? And then try to implement that more into your life, because if it's already giving you so much nice feelings just by looking at a picture, imagine what it would do if you would do more of those things yourself. But I just think that we can take this aesthetic from something superficial to something so much more deep, and that we can really make a change with this aesthetic through educating people on sustainability, on environmental justice, on justice in general. And I think it really has a lot of potential and power to grow into something incredibly strong. And I just want to let all these cottagecore creators know that they have power and that I really like your content, man, and you've got this. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. It was kind of hectic, I guess. Drink some water. So if you enjoyed this video, give it a like, share, subscribe. I also got Instagram somewhere, and I really hope we can make a change with this aesthetic. So yeah, I love you, and I will see you in another video.